Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's GTA video, we're going to be talking about how we've actually got some good news that's recently surfaced for the release of Grand Theft Auto 6, coming all the way back from the original leaks back in September. So this comes from Rockstar Games insider TezFunds2 over the weekend, who said, not sure if mentioned before, but checking the tag of each leaked video reveals the CPU, GPU, and the name of the EXE running. The America's 1 2022 913 163243 video was running on an Intel Core i9 10980XE CPU at 3 GHz, NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2080 Super, and GameWin Bank Release.exe, whereas America's 1 2022 912 164230 was running on an AMD Ryzen Threadripper Pro 3975 WX32 cores, NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2080 Super, and GameWin 64 Bank Release. There are videos running on GameWin 64 Beta.exe and one video running on GameWin 64 Debug.exe. From my understanding, the Bank Release is a debug build with functionality aiming to reach feature complete. That, or it could be the main debug build, while the beta build is sort of the same, but with extra functionality aiming to reach content complete. Okay, so I know upon seeing this, you're like, what the heck is Rockstar Games insider TezFunds2 talking about here? And unfortunately, this makes a little bit more sense if you actually have access to the GTA 6 leaked videos. I'm sure they're out there in some way, shape, or form if you can actually get your hands on them. And all of them have this sort of code, America's 1, and then the date in which they were recorded on, as well as the time in which they were recorded on too. And they also have a lot of behind-the-scenes metadata here, like what TezFunds2 was mentioning, talking about the types of CPUs and GPUs that the games were running on. But this actually reveals something quite interesting. And this was explained in further detail by insider TezFunds2, as he responded to someone that said, although this was kind of a given, the videos that show builds running on a beta EXE kind of confirms the game is in beta. Some people thought it was still in alpha. That's pretty big considering the cycle from beta to release and production isn't that far off. And he clarified, saying the beta EXE doesn't mean the game itself is in the beta phase we are familiar with. All the recent videos ran on the Bank Release build. The builds go back to the, in quotes, AGE engine, the previous iteration of the Rage engine developed for Rockstar San Diego titles prior to Grand Theft Auto 4. Think of Bank Release build as the main debug build, and the beta build is also a debug build, but aimed towards filling the game with content. So the long story short, and breaking this down as simply as possible, this is good news because it means the version that we saw when the Grand Theft Auto 6 leaks happened, it means it's close. It's close to being towards release and production. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that the game is going to look like that. There's obviously going to be changes. It's obviously going to look a whole lot better, but it's closer to release than it is not to release. I guess that's the good news that I'm trying to bring you here. And all of these different taglines like beta, bank release, debug, and so on, they're all going to have different features for what Rockstar's trying to do with them. Like, for example, debug would be the build that Rockstar is going to be doing the highest amount of logging and profiling on. So it's obviously going to be the slowest, and it's not meant for performance testing, but rather deep diving into issues and whatnot. So I think this is really good news that the game is progressing towards release. It hasn't hit any more bumps in the road. But as far as when Rockstar is going to be sharing information on it, we've obviously talked about in a previous video that it really looks like that could be happening soon based off of what Rockstar has done really over the last 3 years with their community updates. And hopefully that community update doesn't say something along the lines as for the next Grand Theft Auto entry, we can't wait to show you more later this year. I mean, at least that would confirm when it's going to be happening. But honestly, Rockstar has said themselves the entire time, we look forward to sharing more as soon as we are ready, and then going on to say, we will properly introduce you to this next game when it is ready. This honestly makes me feel like the game could be revealed closer to its release date. and kind of atypical to the way Rockstar normally does things. I mean, think about one of the most popular games ever, one of my favorite games, Fallout 4. The game was revealed only about 5 to 6 months before they decided to release it, which was unheard of at the time, especially for big AAA titles like that. And Sony has also started to do this with their first-party games as well, where they really only start advertising them a couple of months before the actual release date. So let's say Grand Theft Auto 6 is still slated to come out, like, call it fall 2024 or sometime in 2025. What's stopping Rockstar from officially revealing the game in early 2024? I know that would be heartbreaking for a ton of people, but that certainly is a possibility, and they might want to do this to avoid having to delay the game after already revealing it, and also having to just completely stress out the people that are making the game. And we obviously don't know all the things and all the impacts that the leaks had on these ongoing decisions. We don't know if that completely changed their reveal and announcement plans, and if it had any impact on the release date of GTA 6, but at least as things stood right as the leaks were happening, Rockstar was close, and it was closer to coming out than not coming out. So that is good news at the end of the day. And what's also interesting is, as we're talking about this, Rockstar Games actually just posted a new job that they're looking for, which I think could directly correlate to the Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer, or at least something along those lines. They are actually looking for an assistant post-production producer. And one of the things that they're responsible for is working with the marketing department and closely with the motion graphics team to create all trailers and video assets released online, on TV, and in cinemas. So essentially, someone that they're looking for right now, which doesn't necessarily guarantee that they're like, all right, we are going to start working on the GTA 6 trailer, but this is interesting that it looks like they're starting to ramp things up in preparing for possibly getting a trailer out there. Honestly, I think we're probably a long ways away from the actual trailer. I feel like an announcement has to happen first. If we look at Rockstar's recent timeline on announcement trailer releases, GTA 5's trailer came out in November 2nd, 2011, Red Dead Redemption 2, October 20th, 2016, and the Grand Theft Auto Trilogy, the Definitive Edition, October 22nd, 2021. So it usually happens in October or November, which is why we were also anticipating something to happen in 2022, but it never really came out. And don't get me wrong, it's not necessarily a guarantee. Grand Theft Auto 4's first trailer came out in March, but that was a long time ago, and that's kind of the Rockstar of old. So who knows what happened to any potential marketing plans, especially with the leaks. They're known for October and November, but it's obviously not 100%. But anyways, I'd love to hear from you guys in those comments down below. Let me know what you think about everything we talked about in this video today. Do you think we're getting closer and closer to the release or announcement of Grand Theft Auto 6? Or do you think Rockstar is so screwed up at this point in time, it honestly could be any time and it could be random? Let me know what you guys think in those comments down below. I'd love to hear from you guys down there. If you guys did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new. You want to stay up to date on all the latest GTA and all the Rockstar Games videos that I'll be doing here on my channel. And be sure to ring that notification bell as well. Sometimes YouTube just doesn't work, and if you ring that bell, you'll always be guaranteed to be notified when new videos arrive. But of course, as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.